Ma'am, I'm not here to be anyone's slave. I can say no to a dance move. I was told by my at the time therapist, Dr. Benson, who died, that my manager called him in that moment and told him I wasn't cooperating or following the guidelines in rehearsals. And he also said I wasn't taking my medication, which is so dumb because I've had the same lady every morning for the past 8 years give me my same medication, and I'm nowhere near these stupid people. Conservatorship actually started, I think, 15 to 16 years ago. I was 25. When it started, I was extremely young. I remember a lot of my friends texting me and calling me, and we were extremely close, and they wanted to see me, but by what had happened, honestly, still to this day, don't know what really I did, but the punishment of my father, I wasn't able to, see anyone or like anything. So you have to imagine none of it made sense to me. I literally spoke in a British accent to a doctor to prescribe my medication, and 3 days later, there was a swap team in my home, 3 helicopters, and I remember my mom's best friend and my 2 girlfriends. We had a sleepover the night before. They held me down on a gurner. And again, none of it made sense.
Get back! You guys gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta get back.
Hey guys, I want to go over some of the news and media that has been going crazy over our dear Britney Spears. And I've been going crazy looking for the actual footage of Chris Como's interview with Sam Lefty.
Oh, shit.
So he's back in the mix. And I'm interested because I want to see if he is standing by pretty much team conservatorship stuff, which he hasn't been before. Or is he standing up and sticking up for Britney? And is it genuine or not? So if you guys have found that before I do, please put it in the comments down below, because I've been going crazy looking on News Nation everywhere and it's not up yet. But Elizabeth Vargas, she did a report. And I will say from personal experiences, when I was maybe 12 years old, I was on a set through a family member who worked along in the business, and Elizabeth Vargas was not who she is today, but she was starting out and she was fucking nasty. She was one of the meanest people on the set, and she was very jealous of other female co-hosts, or pretty much any woman that was around her. Hopefully that's changed. I haven't watched anything with her since, but let's see.
All right, now to that breaking news from overnight. It looks like that slow motion tragedy that is Britney Spears' personal life.
Bruh.
Already off the bat. Tragedy, tragic. Why do they do this to her? I know these are words to grab attention, but these are also words to hurt her.
Life has just accelerated. First responders were reportedly called to a hotel in LA overnight after guests called the police thinking Spears was having a mental health crisis. It all started around 10:30 p.m. at the famed Chateau Marmont Hotel, where Jim Morrison once jumped off a balcony. John Belushi fatally overdosed, and countless other celebrities have stayed and wined and dined each other.
Here we go with the negative. And I'm not going to lie, when I heard that she was at this location, my first thought was the same as the beautiful ladies that I'm in a group chat with. And it was Anna Delvey and Lindsay Lohan, all the things we've heard throughout the years that were not public and eventually came out. A lot of rehabs are staged there. A lot of trying to put them in conservatorships have been staged there. So usually we hear about Britney having a wild night or a girls' night or, just having a night of living it up. She's usually at the bungalows, not here. So that makes me a little nervous. Was it her choice to go there, or did the person she was hanging out with, did he influence to go there? And was he influenced to bring her there? It's a shame, but everything that's happened to Britney, everyone still questions it because look what the media has done. They've lied, they've tricked, and they've harmed her. They have definitely caused her much harm and pain.
Last night, Spears was reportedly yelling at hotel employees and guests before she finally went to her room with her boyfriend, Paul Solis. 2 hours later, police were called a second time after Spears was found screaming in the hotel hallway, holding a pillow and wrapped in a blanket. She was also crying. Spears also appeared to have been injured in some sort of physical altercation.
If you were injured and you were in pain, wouldn't you be screaming and crying? Seriously.
According to sources close to her, Spears is in a bad mental place and needs help.
Who are these fucking sources? Oh, they don't want to put their name to it?
Oh, shit.
Because they are causing drama? Or they're getting money out of it to sell her out?
Sources say there's even talk of a 5150 being put.
Oh, God, are you fucking kidding me? They are doing everything possible to make her look bad, so she is upset and then, understandably has a moment in public, possibly what they're hoping for, of a breakdown. They're also pushing the topic of her money again. Oh, because why? She's always on vacation. She fucking deserves to be on vacation anytime she wants. People need to go back and look at the videos that she's been through. I did do a poll on my page, and a lot of you are interested in seeing some of the old paparazzi videos and how she was treated, and others like Lindsay Lohan. I'm not going to say Paris Hilton because she welcomes it and she enjoys it, but we'll look into those too. But they're looking to push the narrative that she is mentally unstable, mentally unfit to have her money, and that she's going broke again and she needs help to control that again. Leave her be. Like, how hard is it? Or if you want to be a real human being with a heart, why don't you discuss her situation if it is, important, that it should be newsworthy, and highlight it in a good way. Try to help her, not bring her down.
Put into place, which allows an adult to be involuntarily detained for psychological evaluation. As you know, Spears has a long history of mental health struggles, and many of which have been.
Sorry to stop again, but love that they're showing footage of her with the knife again. Did anybody do their research? If you're going to use this footage in anything with Britney Spears, please mention or put, in writing or show her post about how she got these at a prop store, and she did this right after the MTV Awards performance by Shakira, where she, played with knives. Like, what the hell? Just because she doesn't look like, all these other pop stars or all these famous people like Kardashians, perfect hair, perfect makeup, perfect everything. We should be highlighting and respecting the fact that she is herself and she is true to that. And she has no shame in her game showing either normal aging or normal bad hair days. What is wrong with you people?
On display for the world to see, like this video that alarmed many of her twirling and dancing with large knives. It's just one of many videos in the last couple of years that have sparked mental health concerns. In January of 2008, after a mental health breakdown, Spears was placed under an involuntary conservatorship that really gave her father complete control over the finances of her life, where she lives, what medication.
And what did that do, y'all? Maybe it helped keep her money so-called building and whatnot. But what happened to all that money? We're all talking about that. It's Kim, That Surprise Witness, Popcorn Planet, BJ Investigates, Sloan. I mean, I can go through a list of people that have stayed consistently on top of the topic of Britney Spears and what has happened to her. But what fucking year is it, you guys? It looks like we're going backwards. This is all the same tactics they did before, and they're tricking people. This is terrible. If she does in the future have a mental breakdown, it's because of this, you guys, not because she's unstable.
Medication she takes, when she sees her children, thanks in large part to her fans starting the Free Britney movement and a documentary which sort of really detailed the extent of how
Hell yeah, we all did.
That conservatorship was. It was all terminated in November of 2020.
As it fucking should have. It was all against her human rights. So is the 5150, but you know, people are all for that. What good does it do, you guys? And also, a 5150 isn't a long-term thing. They put it in place in hopes to get you into a long-term thing. But when it goes into a conservatorship,
Oh no.
we should all be questioning these points and all the reasons why they want somebody in a conservatorship. Britney speaks. She speaks English. She speaks it fine. So what? Sometimes she uses a British accent. What's the difference, y'all? Regular English, she has a tone, a southern tone. Is she crazy when she doesn't use her southern tone? Like, what the fuck? It's absolutely horrendous how they pick and just nitpick at her.
At 2021.
Oh, and before we go back to that, she knows how to identify things. She can walk. She knows how to feed herself. So why the fuck does she need a conservatorship? If it's a money thing, get her a financial manager. Doesn't mean you have to put her in conservatorship to get her a financial manager. Use your head.
It's not been an easy path since then, however. Spears announced her divorce from ex-husband Sam Asghari, which was finalized actually just today.
Industry
Many
plant.
still think of Spears as a teen pop star, but she's now 42 years old.
And can someone tell me? Now all of a sudden it's just the ex-husband. But before that it was, you know, the model, the actor, all these different things. Makes you wonder.
And by all accounts, it looks like adulthood has not been easy for her. Joining us is senior story editor Paula Froelich.
Would adulthood and life be easy for her? You know, with all the pressure news and media puts on her? Man, I wish I could work for a news company and write their scripts. But you know what? I wouldn't get the job because I would be telling the fucking truth.
Paula, I think anybody who's been watching her Instagram feed in the last couple of years might not be completely surprised. There's been a lot of concern about her mental health in the last few years.
I don't think anyone's really shocked at this. Not one single person within or around her or anyone looking in just on her Instagram. And then this week, you mentioned part of it, but she had a double whammy. Her divorce from Sam was finalized. And say what you will, but Sam was a support for her. And he is a good guy. And he's always been.
Do you know him fucking personally, ma'am? I don't think so. People could put up a front, especially when fame and money is involved.
Very supportive of her. And then at the same time, the conservatorship with her father was settled and not well. She ended up paying him $2 million for his legal fees. And then she ended up paying her own lawyer, Matthew Rosengart, who had told her that she had a very good case, almost unlosable, $4 million. So she sent off a $6 million check this week and she got a divorce. And then she went out with her question.
$6 million. $6 million check. Yet Jamie. Yet Lynn. And Jamie Lynn. Jeez, all the Jamies and Lynns. Where's the $60 million? Hey, Kim Kardashian, you want to answer that question for me?
FBI, open up!
Questionable boyfriend, Paul, who many have been concerned about. You know, they met because he was her gardener.
I'm sorry, he was her gardener?
He was her gardener. He worked for her. He's an ex.
Wasn't a couple months they were just saying he was nothing but a housekeeper? Now he's the gardener? It's funny because when things came out about them, her and Sam not doing well, they were putting out rumors that she was cheating with a gardener. But then when they talked about Paul and introduced him into the media and public, he was the housekeeper. What are they trying to play here, you guys?
They were dating. She broke up. Then she denied it. They're clearly back together, or at least were last night.
So what happened at the Chateau Marmont, according to your sources?
I think there was a lot of drinking. And I think she's probably not in the best place mentally. And drinking, of course, does not help. They got into, as you said, altercations with guests and hotel staff. Then she went, police were called at 10:30.
So in my opinion and speculation, it is possible that through all the news with the settlement and then finalizing the divorce, it could be either she was celebrating, like, fuck yeah, I'm putting all these people behind me and moving on. Or it could have been like, you know what, I'm going to try and just have a glass of wine and take it for what it is and try to think positive. And some people, yes, some people don't do well with drinking. They can turn into a different person. But that's like everyone in this world. It's 50-50. Either you're a happy, normal person when you continue to drink, or it turns you into, a different person. And it's not good. But that has nothing to do with Britney in general. That's something in daily life that's everybody has seen, heard, or experienced. A friend or a person in their life that is like that. Yes, if they are bad with drinking, then yeah, they might have a little problem. But it's not always the alcohol it might be the alcohol that brings it out, but deep down there might be something else. So they need to come on and just like fucking stop with everything that they're throwing at this situation. And we all know she loves to dance and twirl. So what if she got drunk and she was doing her thing and she got clumsy and something happened, an injury? I could tell you a million times, I could be sober and not have a drink in like a year, and I will still fall over a fucking twig. If you don't believe me, you can ask Adam.
They came, there was nothing for them to do. So
They
Britney
left.
and Paul go up to the room where.
Why are they showing like certain pictures
people
of her
around them in other rooms
Seriously.
can hear them?
that she
And
does
it's
not
really,
like?
It sounds violent. Apparently, there was something wrong with her leg. and an
But-
ambulance was called.
And they find her wandering in the hotel hallways, wrapped in a blanket, clutching a pillow, and hardly wearing anything.
She was in
Which she always is doing. She's always in short shorts and a tank top. She's always barefoot too. Who fucking cares? She can't be a normal person holding a pillow. Like, some people bring their own pillows to hotels because sometimes hotels have shit pillows. Or she was holding it for comfort because she was in pain. My God. I think I woke up and chose like anger today.
the hotel hallway screaming and freaking out as well. And so then the ambulance calls. She does not go with it because most likely if she had gone with the ambulance, two things would have happened. The first, she would have had to spend the night in the hospital. And the second, a 5150 would have actually been instated. So she left on her own. And then you see the ambulance and the gurneying out her things instead of her. So she ends up going back home. Paul does not go back home with her. So he apparently stayed at the chateau, and she is now at home surrounded by friends and employees, because most of her friends are in some way employees. Most of her family is back in Louisiana. We know her brother Brian is in town. And I think everyone is just very concerned. She has these
If everybody was fucking concerned, they wouldn't be pushing certain narratives. I'm sorry. That's great that her brother may be in town and may go see her and console her and help her, because they do have a tight-knit family bond and a good relationship, despite all the drama with the parents and stuff. Behind the scenes, she has always been okay with Brian. So if you ever hear that she's having issues with Brian, then we're in trouble.
tendencies to, obviously I'm not a shrink, but she has these tendencies to be a little bit manic or seem a little bipolar.
Okay. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to...
Oh shit, that's where they cut it off. Good. Because you aren't a fucking doctor. You ain't a psychiatrist. And there's a lot of people out there that aren't, they're undiagnosed. And they go through manic moments. Yes, there's some manic moments that are more extreme than others. But everybody deals with fucking anxiety. And if I was Britney Spears, I would be anxious all the time, because you can't trust anybody. You can't go out in public without being harassed or photos taken of you. Nothing has changed, you guys. Nothing. Now we're going to switch to another news nation with Ashley Banfield, which I usually kind of like her sometimes, like with the Gabby Petito case and stuff. She did really good with that. So I'm interested to see how this goes down. This was, I believe, from 3 days ago. So let me see if I could share that with you guys.
Friends worried it's finances as well. Sources say she had $60 million when the conservatorship ended, but that she's burned through most of it. One confidant told TMZ that Britney goes to Hawaii or French Polynesia by herself.
Oh, shit.
She had $60 million.
They're reporting she had $60 million, and now she blew it on vacations and shit. See what I'm saying? The $60 million is thrown all over the place in the media, because they don't want people to question the $60 million that was missing, if you go by documents.
When the conservatorship ended, but that she's burned through most of it. One confidant told TMZ that Britney goes to Hawaii or French Polynesia by herself via private jet almost every month.
So what? And her kids are in Hawaii, so if she's going to Hawaii, isn't it possible she might be trying to see her kids or something and the media's not aware of it? We don't know. We're not there.
And drops close to $1 million per trip. She's also had to spend millions on the legal battle that she just settled with her dad, Jamie. Britney accused him of stealing from her when he was in charge of her finances, but he was able to show that all of his expenses were legitimate and court approved. And so not...
Did he?
What did you say?
When was this? When did all that go down? Because he's tied in with Lou Taylor and TriStar and all that with the conservatorship, and that team still hasn't shown anything. Where's the depots? Like, what is going on?
Not only did she have to pay for her own legal fees, about $4 million, she had to cover his as well, another $2 million. I want to bring in someone who knows a lot about Britney's case. Jim Murray is an attorney and chief correspondent for Inside Edition. You and I have had a couple of conversations about Britney through this whole very sad series of episodes in her life, Jim. Start with the buyer's remorse for the Free Britney crowd. Clearly, it doesn't look like she is doing well without.
Lovely photo shot that they use. Let's get a picture of her being drowsy or just like a mid-blink shot, which we've all had, while we're discussing the concerns.
Without help.
Well, that Free Britney crowd is largely responsible for a lot of the public pressure that caused this conservatorship to be focused on and then end. But yeah.
Excuse me?
Oh! What?
The fans that were all for Free Britney movement was also, I'm so angry, also trying to showcase human rights and how people get manipulated in ABUSE under special umbrellas like a conservatorship. Oh no! Conservatorship, guardianship, that shit should be handled in a totally different way than they did with Britney. Everyone could see how they set her up for it, and how no one wants to talk about how Lou was classic about setting it up with other people, allegedly. And let's not forget freaking Lima Yabremovich with her guardianship shit. She was trying to get Bam in one, or keep him in one. And then we have idiot clowns like Steve-O.
Hello, bozo.
Who I used to like until all that. Try to stick up for her and promote that guardianships are good things. It could be a good thing if the person is not capable and not coherent with things. I have said this openly on Popcorn Planet during the Johnny Depp trial and stuff. I was very open about my past and my past experiences in certain fields like the healthcare fields. I worked with a lot of people that had TBI and behavioral concerns, but usually they had not just one thing. It wasn't just like, oh, they have behaviors. They had a lot of issues. Either they couldn't physically feed themselves, walk. It was proven they're not coherent to understand to make certain choices. That's when something like that, a 24/7 caretaker is involved. There are companies that are all for this type of situation, where I'm looking at a plaque that I have from that job, and they specialize with this type of situation for people that cannot take care of themselves, cannot spend their money properly and need someone to handle it. But it was never like the way they treated Britney with the money. This was, they had people watch the spending. The caretakers would take the resident or patient, however you want to put it, to the store. If they wanted to buy a shirt and shoes and candy and whatever they want, they could, but it had to be documented. Not approved, it had to be documented. Of course, certain things within reason, like say they go to the store and they want a fucking knife, and they're known to have really negative, bad behaviors and could be violent, then absolutely you would do your best to avoid them making that purchase, but technically, legally, you had to make that purchase. Unless there was some legal binding behind it that you can't. And then you would have to bring them home, let them have what they purchased, but you would have to monitor them with that because it could be a heavy concern. But also within the program, they had homes and residents that were set up and shared for people, or they can have their own personal home and setting. But it's hard to explain without showing things and whatnot. But the way they did Britney Spears was so dirty, you guys. So dirty. To the point where if I was in her shoes, I would have thought I was going crazy because of the way they were treating her when she wasn't going crazy. They caught her in moments of breakdowns where I would have been in the same mood and upset. Like, don't just use your head, you guys. Use your heart.
You have to remember, actually, these conservatorships are not entered into lightly. They're generally a point of last resort. A judge has to approve them, and a judge did approve that conservatorship. And it was through Britney's Instagrams that many of the Free Britney movement was formed to say she's unhappy, she's being mistreated. And you're right, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, and neither do many in the Free Britney movement.
The Free Britney movement is the movement that tackled this conversation and discovered all the discrepancies, all the ABUSE, and the misuse of funds. So I don't even want to listen to this guy, but let's see how he reasons with this.
Even though their heart may be in the right place, it may not have been the best thing for her, given what we're seeing now.
Okay, could she go back into the same kind of conservatorship, or could she maybe even just go into a financial conservatorship, given that she's bleeding out everything she's ever earned?
It's not illegal to burn through
Get her an accountant.
We do it all the time, especially people in entertainment in Hollywood.
That's not tied in with the business.
That's still not reason enough to go into a conservatorship. As I say, a judge has to approve it, and it has to be a last.
So you guys, there you have it. He's putting it out there. They need reason to put her and force her back into a conservatorship. And how do you think they're doing that? They're doing that with the press and pushing it through the media, harassing her, making her feel like shit. Therefore, she's going to feel like she's losing her mind because she's being normal. She's being human. She's being her. Her spinning in Instagram videos is her. That's what she likes to do. She has been a little tiny dancer since she was born. Like, I don't know how many times and how many people can explain these things. And we still have morons out there that don't see how much money she still makes from all these other, like her fragrances, even though it's not that much that she might make personally because there's other people that have to get their cut, but they just want her money. And the biggest thing that I fear is it's not just the money. I think they want her gone because when the fans realized what they were doing to her and the scheme of what they keep doing to her, the Free Britney movement opened up a lot of knowledge to a lot of people about the industry, whether it's film, music. Look at P. Diddy right now going through all this stuff and how he got away with stuff. Still getting away with things as he's not charged and not in cuffs, as he is proven innocent till proven guilty. But look at the whole picture, you guys. The Free Britney movement exposed a lot of shit, especially with TriStar, sports and entertainment. Key, sports and entertainment. Lou Taylor has her little dirty ass fingers dipped into every honeypot. It's dangerous, you guys. Being famous, unfortunately, is it worth it? Once you make all these people their money and you're just like ready to be done and retire and live your life and they want you to work more, they're going to do everything in their power to get rid of you. And that's what I fear for Britney. It's such a shame. When you look back at videos, the glow, the smile, the sparkles in her eyes, it's all gone now because of the greed of these people in the industry.
resort. There have to be less onerous methods to help you first. So there's a conservatorship of your finances, your estate, and then there's a conservatorship of the person. She was under both before because she needed medical treatment, mental health treatment.
So does half of the fucking planet. I have mental health and physical health issues. Am I in a conservatorship?
Nope.
Do I have a guardian?
No.
No. Do I have money issues? Hell yeah. I ain't got money for half of my bills. But that's most people, most Americans today with this economy. It's amazing how they twist shit.
And it's much more likely, given what we're seeing, that she certainly needs something, some attention, whether it's medical, whether it's medication, whether it's counseling, who knows? The question is really, who's around her now? Because since she got divorced.
The other problem is she might be afraid and have fear of taking medications, even if she knows certain previous medications that she was on in the past, whether they worked or not.
Yeah.
Because they used other DRUG and medications that weren't needed. And she herself has said in court, she feared for her life that they were trying to unalive her. So after an experience for many years like that, wouldn't you be hesitant to just, go on medications, trust doctors? And if you want a little more insight to the type of doctors that treat celebrities and how it's all for money and all for their own good, check out BJ Investigates and her other channel, That Surprise Witness. She does amazing, amazing deep dives. And she did one dealing with the doctor of Kim Porter. And if you see that whole whirlwind of a career of that person, this will all make sense.
Sam Asghari was the closest person to her. And there's a question about who is close enough to her now to effectuate any change, or are they all yes people?
Or helping her to stay on a medication regimen because, she clearly needed that very much before. She deleted her Instagram today. The last time she did that, her fans went bananas, called the police, and there was a welfare check done. Do we know if that might be happening?
First of all, she deletes her shit all the time. And her true fans, the ones in the movement, know. They know better. We know she needs that social media break. What we do question is when she posts something that's very exposing, very truthful, and interesting with her own little way of taking hints, and then instantly that gets deleted, and then 2 hours later, an edited version, or the picture is gone, but the post is back or something. That's what we question. The channel 8, the 8 people that have access to her social media account, that's what we question. We don't question when it gets taken down because we know it's either one of those people are fixing things or they want the media to see that she deleted it and they want the media to bring attention to that. Or she simply was like, fuck this, I'm taking a break, I need it. People are nuts.
Now because she did that again today.
We don't know that yet. And part of the reason is partly because of her small circle of friends. You mentioned the TMZ report. These people are talking off the record without naming themselves. And it's very difficult to get a clear read on what's going on. But when you hear about somebody burning through $1 million a trip for vacation and burning through, say, $6-7 million.
Excuse me, sir. Why don't you talk to Kris Jenner and her daughters? How much money do they spend on vacation? How much money do they spend on a fucking dinner? My God. My God. This is despicable.
In legal fees, and hearing that a $60 million estate is on the verge of going broke, that is cause for concern, certainly. And then when you see some of these postings that you showed, they're very disturbing. I remember that knife incident that we all witnessed just a few months back.
I just realized, look at this, the price of freedom.
It
There should be no price on your fucking freedom.
it seems like there's a cry for help, and I don't know who's really
Hence,
going to
free.
heed that and listen and really do something.
Poor kid. I mean, she's just had the most bizarre life. And
No offense, Ashley. Kid, she's a grown woman. Where was this energy for poor kid when she was a fucking kid? Especially now with the Nickelodeon Quiet on the Set that came out. We're finding out behind scenes what type of people were around these children, what they did to these children, like Drake Bell, which he's not an innocent person by all means. He's gone through a lot of shit. Some people can change. Some people, I don't even know how to put it in words. But what happened to him caused a fucking cycle. It caused a cycle of ABUSC, behaviors that is inappropriate. So certain people that have, mannerisms or say things or do things that may come off a little odd, you got to ask yourself, how were they raised? Was that normal to them? Did they think it was normal? Media is so disgusting.
I think really unfortunate upbringing, not just at her home, but through this bizarre Hollywood fascination and the pop star frenzy around her. I wish the best for her. I really do. I hope you and I talk about this again in a better resolution. But I don't know. I'm not optimistic. Jim, thank you. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Always good.
I love how they use all these people that have never met or never seen or treated Britney ever in their life. And these sources, if they are absolutely truthful, don't be afraid to say your name and show your face.
Good to talk to Jim Murray. He's got his finger on the pulse, and he's a lawyer, so he knows. He does his research. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Interesting enough, she did another segment recently. Let's see what this has to be about.
Who knows a thing or two about celebrities whose behavior has been questioned. Certainly you would. You've worked even for Courtney Love, I believe, as well. And so with that roster, I'd love you to sort of put Britney into context, especially what we've just been seeing over the last couple of days.
I think part of the problem with Britney has been that she's been a victim of her own success. Going back to the days when I was first involved, you have to realize her life was somewhat tumultuous, but however, she is a very smart entertainer and a very good self-promoter. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit confused about the Chateau Marmont. It's like, celebrities have been going there for years and causing all kinds of havoc.
Let me pause for a second. So they're showing the post that she had up where it was weird. She had a photo, which I did not catch originally with the post. And then, like I said just before, it was taken down. And then like an hour later, the post writing was up. I'm not too sure if it was edited. I have to go back and check. But the picture that was originally with it was gone. And it says, just to let people know, the news is fake. I would like respect at this time for people to understand I am stronger every day. Truth sucks. So can somebody teach me how to lie? Goodness out there. I'm reaching my higher power. And furthermore, I hope you guys are too. And it goes into more detail. I don't know if they're going to show that yet. But this, I'm moving to Boston. If that is true, I'm in Massachusetts. I might have to go to Boston. I would respect her privacy, but I would love to see where she would be hanging out and going.
Seldom, if ever, cops, ambulances, no one shows up. But Miss Spears goes over there and something happens. The next thing you know, you got everybody in the world showing up with cameras trying to document this bizarre behavior.
Yeah.
I think she's been taken advantage of
This fucking
numerous
picture.
times. I think the conservatorship was a total setup.
Ah! Bless you, man, for saying that. Yes. Yes, and they didn't edit it out.
And I'm not sure it did any good for her personally, but the people involved, lawyers, the courts, and others, I think they made millions of dollars off of her seeing weaknesses.
Yes.
Can I ask you about,
She looked.
Commercial.
Do you think you can commit to
Almost like speechless with all this. I can't believe it's happening all over again. All over again.